Morning, Antonette.
Good morning. Nice to see you.
Thank you for having us in. So tell us about where we're at today.
Yeah, so welcome to the RTC Mobility Training Center. We call it the MTC. So this is a space where we bring in our paratransit customers who are interested in becoming eligible for paratransit services. In addition to paratransit eligibility, we also do mobility training. The functional assessments for paratransit are also done in this space. But really, as it relates to mobility training, we have a huge space that I'm gonna show you and we're gonna walk through that really helps us bring in customers, whether it's seniors who have never utilized public transit before, or individuals who are, may have cognitive impairments or physical impairments that want to learn how to independently and safely ride our public transit system. We bring them in here and we teach them how to safely navigate the system, where it's intuitive, it feels safe, and they're very confident in what they do. And so yeah, this is our space. We opened our building in 2016. It was federally funded with an FTA grant. We're very proud of that and very lucky to have had that funding, of course. And we bring hundreds of folks in here to do mobility training. Thousands of folks every year to come do certification and functional assessments. And then we really engage our community as well to come in and learn about what we do here in paratransit and specifically mobility training.
Okay, so let's say I'm in town to come see the Super Bowl or the F1 race and I have a disability. And I'm certified in my home community to use ADA paratransit. Do you all recognize those?
Absolutely. So we are entertainment, big things all year long, and we work with all of the paratransit agencies throughout the country, and you grab a visitor's pass, you let us know who you are, where you're from, and you can utilize our system for 21 days.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, let's say I'm an employee who has a disability and I want to work at the Raider Stadium, to do a job there, but I need a paratransit van and I need some help in kind of learning how it works. Is this where I would come to learn?
This is one of the best things that we get to do, so absolutely. You can come in here and schedule some time with our mobility trainers, and they will teach you from start to finish.
Like the TVM here, ticket vending machine?
Absolutely, using the TVM, so how to purchase your passes, how to utilize the bus if you have a wheelchair, how to get onto the bus,
that's
how to
great.
use our fairing.
And what about this?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is what our real life shelters look like, and so they can also work with our customers to do trip planning so that they can learn how to safely and confidently navigate our transit system.
That's great. I love this.
Thank you. Yeah, so this is the second part of our mobility training center. And so once our customers learn how to do fairing and trip planning, they can also come here and learn how just to navigate the transit system. So as you can see, we have real life working, stops with the lights and the audibles, and they just push the button, and it gives them a real life experience of what it's like to cross our streets.
Oh yeah, and you've got the tactile things here?
We've got the tactiles, so it also helps them learn how to navigate and understand what it feels like in an everyday situation to cross the streets on different tactile surfaces.
Yeah,
and
grass, bricks.
We've got a little cobblestone, even some stairs over there and some inclines. And so it really gives them a real life view and feel of what it is like to navigate our transit system. We also have some murals on the wall that are consistent with what Las Vegas looks like. So of course, in the east side of our valley is the Las Vegas Strip. The west side is where our mountains are, and then throughout the valley.
Now this is unique. Tell us about Angela's house.
Yeah, so one of the things for our success is our partnerships, our agency partnerships, community partnerships. And one of the partnerships we have is with an organization called Blind Connect. So come on in and I'll tell you a little bit more. So this is a 1,600 square foot apartment, and it's called Angela's House. And what it is used for is for folks from Blind Connect to help people who are either losing their vision or currently blind or low vision to learn how to live independently. And so not only is it for independent living, but it's also to just thrive independently. So again, you think about the people who, you know, need to go out into Allegiant Stadium or other places to work. It helps them build independence and confidence. So
That's wonderful. I love this.
yeah, it's really wonderful.
So you got a kitchen here, and then you've got all the standard
We do,
rooms,
yeah. So kitchen where they really cook, bake cookies, all of the good stuff.
Okay.
We have a washer and dryer, again, learning independence, a normal size bathroom, and then this is just some of their Braille material. So, you know, learning, education, all of that kind of good stuff. In here we have, so again, Braille readers and some other technology equipment. So again, building independence for living, for working, for just thriving in our community.
So we're outside your training center. Tell us about this program.
This is exciting. So we have the brick and mortar inside, and now this is our mobility training center on wheels.
Ah.
We are very excited about it. We just launched it. Again, another FTA grant, Mobility for All grant that we received. And so let me go in and I'll show you around and we'll tell you more.
That sounds good.
All right, so welcome on board to our Mobility Training Center on the go. And so yeah, this is our Mobility Training Center where we can take mobility training to the people. We are meeting them where we are in the community. So everything that we would do within the Mobility Training Center, we can now take to community centers, to senior centers, to agency partners that have large groups of you know, customers who are shared customers. And so again, we teach them how to use the technology that you would see on our buses. Here's our fare box. So again, this is a real fare box that would be on a fixed route bus, and it allows our customers to intuitively learn how to use our technology. And the mobility trainers that are, you know, that would do the training, they come out, they have mobile phones, they have laptops or iPads, and again, they'll show them how to trip plan.
I love this yard, and I love being here on a Sunday and seeing so many vehicles here. Thanks for having us in. Tell us about your fleet and how it's fueled.
Thanks, I'm glad to have you here. This is our Sunset Maintenance Facility. This houses a portion of our 450 fixed route vehicles and 450 paratransit vehicles. We fuel about 90% compressed natural gas and about 10% diesel, and most recently, hydrogen fuel. So here we have 9 lanes of CNG fueling and diesel fueling, and then most recently in this corner over here, we've added our hydrogen fueling infrastructure.
Great. I love your double-deck buses. You don't see this much in the U.S.
Yeah, that's right. We have 40 of these in service right now. These are 2020 models. These are great to have in service because they carry 73 passengers in a very short profile. That and visitors love them for being on top and getting a view of the strip.
Yeah, it's almost like a tourist thing.
That's right.
All right, we're in front of one of your hydrogen vehicles, and I love your motto, be a hero, ride zero. So this is it, huh?
This is one of the 2 40-foot hydrogen buses that we put in service in June of 2023. So we're really excited to have this in service and collect a bunch of data on it to see how it's performing.
That's great. Well, I really appreciate your time today and showing us your maintenance fleet. Looks like you got an amazing operation going here, moving 1 million people a week.
Thank you.
You've got to make this baby roll, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thanks for having us in to the RTC Safety and Security Annex. Tell us about what you do here.
Paul, I'm the Senior Director of Safety and Security for the Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada, and I'm in charge of the Safety and Security Department here in Las Vegas. I've been in the job for approximately 18 months, and we've made a tremendous amount of changes. We've basically done an overhaul with our Safety and Security Department and basically hit reset. One of the biggest things we've done is we've changed security contractors. We went to Intercon Security, which has a global footprint in the security world, and they've been a game changer. We went from 247 officers who were about 70% armed, 30% not armed, to 100% armed officers, and increased it to over 300 security officers. And that covers over 400 buses and 39 routes of all of Southern Nevada. And we've made great changes in a lot of different things, from technology to manpower, to make it safer for the riders and the drivers.
That's great. What have the results been so far?
It's been great. I'll give you some statistics. Between fiscal year 23 and fiscal year 24, we've had major drops in assaults. For example, assaults on passengers on drivers have dropped 26%, from 35 assaults down to 26. From fiscal year 23 to fiscal year 24, with passenger on passenger assaults, we've dropped 40%, from 166 assaults down to 99. That's huge. We've also been putting in stronger barriers to protect the drivers from assaults, and we've also done a lot of different technology things like zero eyes for firearms detection when a firearm is brandished in a threatening manner. And we've also listened to feedback from the drivers and provided them nano devices, which are GPS devices for when they get off the bus on break or a meal break or something like that. If they have a medical incident or if they get attacked or get in a confrontation, all they have to do is hit the button and it sends a GPS signal to safety and security. So we've made a lot of different changes on that. And we listen to the feedback. I chair a monthly security meeting every month. And on that is senior drivers, union members, people from TransDev, my staff, and we listen to the feedback from the drivers on the street on what we can do better. We also had a transit security discussion group, which had a series of 4 or 5 meetings. That was made up of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, the District Attorney's Office, the ACLU, and we made a lot of good inroads on that. And the outcome from that is the guards need more authority to remove people from the bus, and we've been doing that. We do strong fare enforcement right now, so if somebody's not paying their fare, we first ask them to pay their fare, then we tell them, and then professionally remove them to make it fair for everybody. You know, it's not right for one person to pay their fare and somebody else to get on free, and a lot of times we see confrontations leading from fare enforcement, so you have to have security on that.
That's great. All right, let's maybe walk us through some of the specifics here.
Sure. Robert Palumbo is one of my supervisors, and he can give you some tactical intelligence on the different programs we have with where our officers at, with the Zero Eyes program, with TrackTick, and our different camera systems.
So on this first screen, as Tom mentioned, we have Zero Eyes. Zero Eyes is our new program that we use for weapons detection. So that uses our existing cameras that we already had and was paid for by the public, and it integrates the software that allows the system to see if someone's brandishing a firearm. It gives you an overlay of our facilities, where the camera is, and also it will tell you when the firearm was seen and if that firearm is moving throughout the property. So very handy and allows us to really see top-down where if there's any exposed firearms in the properties. Next, for compliance, is a big thing for our department. We do have 2 real programs. A lot of it is knowing where our officers are, if they're in the correct areas for deployments based off fare evasion data, and also driver feedback and feedback from the public. So we're able to see on the second screen where our vehicles are, and also on the middle screen where our officers are in the field. So you can really pinpoint if they're correctly stationed, if they're deployed in the respective areas, and will allow us to see if we need to maybe move people, if people are not where they're supposed to be, and it really gives us a top-down approach from able to handle and to really deploy adequately and effectively. And then lastly, on the right-hand side is our facility cameras. We use these at all of our locations, so that's all of our facilities we have, and our BRTs. We also have TVMs tied into this system, so we're able to see if there's issues going on. We're able to see if there are CNG events, so if we have an alert that says that someone has pressed a CNG, an alarm, we're able to really look at those events, deploy people effectively, and also see if officers, again, doing what they're supposed to be doing, if they're interacting with the public correctly, if there's other issues that we can see. But ultimately, we've got about 1,000 views throughout the city that we can see from this. And then lastly, current events, and then their duty station itself, from emails to phones to answering customer comments, things like that.
So you've got a duty officer here in your seat whenever there's service on the street?
That's correct. When we're here on Monday through Thursday, this office has a new agent every single day. That will be. This is their sole function. Is this room making sure compliance is done, making sure officers are where they're supposed to be, customer comments are being answered, things of that nature.
This is fantastic. I'm really interested in the Zero Eye program. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Zero Eyes is AI-based, But the beauty of it, it's not 100% AI. It goes to a human element too to determine if it's actually a real firearm and a threat. If it is, 911 gets a call and our security team gets a call. We're the first transit agency in the United States to have a 100% zero eyes on the digital camera system, and we're expanding it. We're even looking to doing a pilot system, putting the zero eyes cameras on our buses. Right now, they're just on our facilities. We just got an innovation award from APTA for Zero Eyes, and there's been a number of other transit agencies throughout the country who have contacted us about using Zero Eyes as well. So it's great. We've had some successes. We haven't had any real threats yet, but Zero Eyes has picked up on a juvenile in one of our facilities waving a toy gun.
Okay.
It picked it up and it alerted us, and then it's all picked up when a law enforcement officer had a long gun hanging on his shoulder. It picked that up. So the system works.
Yeah.
The other thing that we're the first in the country on is the nano devices. And that's it's an emergency button for when the drivers get off the bus. We're first in the country to do that. It's picked up when some of our drivers have had a heart attack or a medical condition, or it picks up if they get attacked or they get in a confrontation. All they have to do is hit a button. Unlike Zero Eyes, which is AI based, the nano devices are GPS based. So it sends a signal every 30 seconds to our safety and security people and to get them help right away. So it helps the drivers protect them.
That's great. So if I'm coming here for a big event like the Rock and Roll Marathon this weekend and I'm riding transit, I can feel safe knowing that you've got an eye on what's happening.
You can feel safe, and not only that, we've changed all the uniforms of our security vendors, Intercon. Now they're in bright yellow. Visibility is a big thing with safety and security. The riders, the drivers, the civilians, they want to see where the security guards are. So we changed it to bright yellow, and they're more visible. We've doubled the number of rovers. Like I said before, we went from 247 guards to over 300. They're all fully armed, highly trained, and we promote them to help the drivers, to help the citizens, not only to be security guards, but to be goodwill ambassadors to the RTC and for the community.
Brij, I love that we're out here on Maryland Parkway, because that's where I'm from.
That's
nice
excellent.
to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you as well, Paul.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. We're excited to showcase the great things that RTC is doing. You're in charge of capital projects and construction. We got a big project here. Tell us what's happening.
It's an amazing project for the Valley. So we have an existing Route 109 that travels up and down Maryland Parkway, connecting South Strip Transit Terminal, which is our facility south of the airport, to Bonneville Transit Center in downtown.
So what kind of improvements can the public here expect to see?
So that's a great question, Paul. It's going to be a bus rapid transit route that's going to be 12.5-mile long, connecting South Strip Transit Terminal in the south to Medical District within downtown Las Vegas and the north. It's going to connect a lot of stakeholders along the corridor, starting with the Harry Reid International Airport, University of Nevada, Las Vegas, the Boulevard Mall, the Sunrise Hospital, Entertainment District within downtown, our Bonneville Transit Center, and then finally the Medical District in downtown. We're going to run brand new 60-foot hydrogen fuel electric buses for this route. We don't have those in the system, but we're going to implement them in this corridor. We're going to have the bus bike lanes implemented, the brand new shelters with adequate seats, lights, and shade, which is really needed in this environment, especially in summertime. Also, as part of the project, we're going to put brand new landscape along the corridor, not just on the side, but also within the median to provide more shade to the traveling public. As part of the bus bike lanes, that separates the buses within dedicated lanes, which is going to be about 60% of the corridor. The bus rapid lanes are going to constitute 60% of the overall length.
So are there any other big improvements coming, and when can the public expect, for this thing to actually kick off?
That's great, Paul. So other improvements are going to be making improvements for traveling public, especially pedestrians. Currently, there are crossing locations, but we're going to make them safer by adding lights so they can cross Maryland Parkway or other streets safely. We're also going to replace all the street lights with new and improved LED lights, which will add safety to the aspect of the project. And then part of the corridor does not have medians in between. What it has is two-way left turn lanes, which are fairly unsafe. So we're going to implement median and improve safety for auto drivers. You can see that this project's going to have improvements for pretty much all road users. If you're walking the corridor in a mobility device, you're biking, you're taking buses or driving, it's going to have improvements for all road users. And as part of this service, the new bus rapid transit service, we're going to improve the headways. Currently, our buses run every 15 minutes. We're going to improve it to every 12 minutes. So introduce another bus per hour, which is going to be a huge service to our transit passengers.
I can't wait to ride this. When is it going to start?
So Paul, you know it's a big project, and everything that's doing worthwhile takes time. This is a 2-year-long construction project. It started in August of 2024, last year, and it's going to be complete in September of 2026. This, I know construction causes some delays and inconvenience to the public, but we've been reaching out to the public through our amazing outreach team to spread the word. And we appreciate everybody's patience in dealing with the construction with us. And we can promise that this is going to deliver a beautiful project for the Valley.
Yeah, that's right. Projects like this don't just help people who are riding them. It also takes more traffic off the road, reduces congestion, and frees up space for everyone, right?
Absolutely.
Brij, you had mentioned you're doing a lot of new construction projects to improve things for the riding public. One of these is new bus shelters. Tell me a little about them.
So glad you asked, Paul. We're constructing over 40 shelters, new shelters for this bus rapid transit, and it's got a lot of new and cool features. Let me go and show you.
All right, let's go.
So Paul, as I was mentioning, we're building over 40 of these new and improved shelters. You can tell it's a lot bigger than our existing shelters.
Yes.
And not just big, but the kind of cool features it has is by being big, it provides more shade.
Okay.
It'll have a lot more seating because this is one of our busiest routes. And then it'll have plenty more adequate lighting, which adds to safety aspect for our passengers.
Hey, Sabrina. Awesome. I love your Deuce bus. This is awesome.
Thank you. I'm so glad you could join us.
Double-decker, kind of like London, huh?
It is. It's one of the iconic parts of the Las Vegas Strip is our double-deck buses that we used to operate from our South Strip Transit Terminal all the way to the south down to downtown Las Vegas, Fremont Street.
Okay, that's where we were at today.
Yeah.
Love free. This goes all the way there.
This goes all the way to Fremont.
Very nice. And what's it cost to ride?
So it is $2 for a one-way ride and $5 for an all-day pass for the Deuce.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, it's a great
Parking or whatever.
parking valet. I'm definitely going to tell you it's more than $5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so you have a lot of, is it heavily used?
Yes, so this is one of the highest ridership routes along our system. We do operate 39 different routes here in the Las Vegas Valley, and the Deuce specifically along the Las Vegas Strip, we carry about 20,000 passengers a day.
Wow, I remember MJ told me one time that the routes along the Strip at one time were the most efficient routes in the nation, meaning cost per revenue mile was highest as a percentage of the total cost. Is that still true?
So we have had some hiccups post-COVID, right?
Oh, like everybody, yeah.
But from a perspective of the revenue that this strip and the route generates, it is definitely a highlight of our system.
That's good. Tell me more about the whole system.
Yeah, so as mentioned, we have 39 different routes that traverse the entire Las Vegas Valley. One of the things that I think makes our system very unique over other agencies is that when you ride, when we start service around 6 a.m., we are running on peak until about 1 o'clock in the morning. And so unlike a lot of other communities where you see an increase in ridership, maybe during the morning where everybody's going into work and going out, it's not like that here. We are a 24/7 community, and that's one of the reasons why over 13 of our routes actually operate 24/7. And the rest of our service, we usually only have a lull between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m.
Wow. One of the big things we're covering on this episode of Transit Unplugged TV is how your transit agency is helping to move the masses of people here from mega events. Tell us about that.
So Las Vegas is not shy to any major event. We have held the Super Bowl here. Formula One is an annual race that we have. Even this weekend while you're here, we have 3 different concerts going on. We have a rock and roll marathon, which actually closes portions of the Las Vegas Strip over the weekends, as well as a variety of different other smaller venues that are doing events. In fact, I almost forgot our VGK game tonight. We provide special what we call Game Day Express service from different points in our suburban areas of the valley, bringing individuals to the stadium here. We do the same thing for Raiders. And so it's funny for us, there's a lot of talk about other communities, you know, when Taylor Swift comes to town and what that can do for their transit system. That is honestly a regular weekend here for us in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, Consumer Electronics Show, all the things going on here.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have a variety of different conventions that we help to support in our community. And so if you put in totality, there is only 2 weeks out of the year or 14 days that we do not have an event happening here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And they are not back to back, those 14 days.
No, of course not. Yeah. So Sabrina, with all those events, what's your ridership like?
So our ridership, we actually transport over 52 million passengers a year. And so that's about
1 million a
100
week.
That's correct. And that's actually what makes us the 12th busiest bus system in the entire country.
Wow.
So we're kind of a hidden gem. Not a lot of people recognize that about the number of people that we're transporting across the valley.
A lot of stuff's happening here, obviously. What are your responsibilities as Senior Director of Transit for the RTC?
Yeah, so here at the agency, I have a couple of different roles that I play. One is our contract oversight. So the RTC, we actually contract out our bus services to currently TransDev is our provider. And so myself and my team do a lot of contract oversight, but we're also really engaged with the service that we provide here. And so tonight you might actually run into members of my team who are out here on the system riding. We have a special events and detours team based on the amount of events that we have that specifically work to make sure that things run smoothly as we have these various events and activities. We actually have construction everywhere across the valley. You'll even see it here along Las Vegas Boulevard that requires us to detour on a lot of different occasions. So we're doing that. We're also making sure that we're in connection with our customers and understanding kind of any of their challenges or needs that they have and responding to those accordingly.
Wow, a lot of responsibility. That's great. So does TransDev, are they running this bus here, the Deuce?
So we call it the Deuce. That's just the name of the route. It is our 301 Deuce service. We do operate double ducks specifically on this route. And that is one, because of the capacity that the bus can hold. We have a lot of riders, as you can see, boarding and riding today, but also to give our visitors an experience kind of to get up here on the second floor of the and be able to look down on the strip and see what's going on along the corridor.
MJ, great to be here at your headquarters at the Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada.
Thanks, Paul. I'm so glad you're here. I mean, you were here, what, 3-4 years ago in
Yes.
this very spot? So
That's
great to have
right.
you back.
We opened our first episode of Transit Unplugged TV here, and now full circle.
And I think it was sunny and warm when you were there. Yes.
It was
so,
beautiful.
Yeah, welcome to sunny Las Vegas.
So we've had a great time here, and what I've really noticed, even from the East Coast where I'm at, is all the big events are coming here to Vegas, whether it's Super Bowl,
Right.
Formula One. We were here last night for this big mega marathon, the Rock and Roll Marathon, and you all are right in the middle of all that, right?
Oh yeah. You know, it's part of our DNA, and I think folks from even our transit peers will come to Las Vegas, and there's sort of this, I mean, I don't think they realize the significance of having at any given time, every weekend, every week, whether it's again, like you said, the Super Bowl, it is Formula One, it's having multiple events. It's a Raiders game, a Golden Knights game going on at the same time while there's shows at all the hotels. So in our role as not only the public transit provider, but the traffic manager, how we can move the masses of people, either, you know, whether you're in a car, you're walking, you're in transit, how we move and make that work is really important to the experience of Las Vegas, but also to our economy. And so it is, we have a special events and detour team that work all the time. We have to pivot. Put themselves in a pretzel just to make sure we're getting it done. But I think if you saw last night with the marathon, it's ensuring that the rolling closures are done in a way that it doesn't, that traffic is interrupted at the least minimally, and ensuring that the events go on really well. So we work closely with all the police departments with all the venues were embedded in their sites to ensure that we're able to sometimes adjust the traffic signalization in real time. But it's exciting. And it's hard work. My team, they work, it's incredible how much they have to do with a bus mode only system and moving the amount of people that we move.
While you were saying that to me, it just hit me. Probably the only reason you can make this work here in Vegas, that you're having, a Taylor Swift moment every weekend. It's not just like once a year. Is the way you're organized as an agency, how they've set you up, and you've set up this amazing traffic management center that brings them all together. Tell us some about that.
Paul, we are very unique. As I said to you earlier, we are the public transit provider. We're the traffic manager for the region. We're the MPO, the Metropolitan Planning Organization, the roadway fund agency. So we are involved regionally on how you can move people, goods, and services. But as a traffic manager and public transit provider, we have this connection. We're able to work in tandem around all the multiple events. And we've got staff that are embedded in the venues. We've got staff that are watching, as you saw at our traffic management center, traffic in real time and reacting to, because you can have those events going on and then you have an accident. You have those events going on and something shuts down. So it's exciting, it's hard work, but it makes us much more efficient. If you had the same kind of event in Los Angeles, and I think it's, I've certainly talked to Stephanie Wiggs, the CEO, with the Olympics coming there. It is important that in LA they have over 100 traffic management centers. So think of the coordination involved here. Here in Las Vegas, we have one. We are the traffic manager for the entire region. And again, we're able to adjust regionally from a big picture perspective very seamlessly.
And not only are you managing all this day to day, but you've got a bunch of really great initiatives going on. Tell us about a couple of them.
Well, first and foremost, we are very excited. We received $150 million from the FTA. We are going to be implementing our bus rapid transit projects on Maryland Parkway. It's going to improve how people move in that very, very important corridor. And then I think you had a chance to spend time with Tom Atteberry, our Senior Director of Safety and Security. We've been using AI as a traffic manager for a long time. We're the first transit system in the U.S. to implement AI technology around safety enhancements under Tom's direction. So we have something called, we're working with a company called Zero Eyes, where it's an AI-informed weapons detection system. As a matter of fact, last night, we were alerted there was a young man in one of our transit terminals with a gun, but it was a toy gun. But had not, if we hadn't had that,
that's how good it is, huh?
Yeah, so it's another layer of security.
Yeah.
And so we were one of the first transit systems in the U.S. All of our operators have what we call a nano, a panic button. And so if they get off the vehicle and they're deadhead, they're going to do a layover, they get off the bus and something happens, they're able to in real time alert our security department that there's something going on. So we look for technology, not only again as the traffic manager, but in the way that we serve our community on the public transit role that we have around safety and security. Zero Eyes has been extremely beneficial.
One of the other great things you've got going on this year, including running this thing, is you're chair of the American Public Transportation Association. Tell us about, from your perspective now, touching base with all these CEOs around the country. Where do you think transit's going in America?
Transit is going to continue telling its story and what it does, not only from the human perspective of how we impact lives, but more importantly, how we are part of the economic ecosystem, how we are a job connector, we are a job creator, and I think ensuring that we're able to do that proposition value so the community understands not only the importance of public transit, but how meaningful it is and what it does for the economy of any community, rural or urban. And I think we're going to have to continue to look at innovation. We have to remain relevant and relatable to our customers. And so I think it's looking for ways to continue using that technology, back in the day it was a big deal to have Wi-Fi in your buses. Now I think it's expected. How people pay their fares, how they receive the information. We have to stay in tandem with the technology that our customers use every single day. So I think innovation will continue to be very, very important to our industry.
That's great. Thanks for having us in.
I loved it. Thanks so much, Paul.
Ingrid, we're here in the Vegas Loop, what everybody in the country's been wanting to ride. I got to ride it. This is amazing. Tell us about it.
Sure. So the Vegas Loop is right now just over 2 miles. It's envisioned to provide a way to ease congestion without adding emissions to a community. And we built the first about 1.2 miles of the Vegas Loop underground with 3 stations. The Boring Company obviously built it and operates it for us. And it's a way for us to get our visitors throughout our 200-acre campus in about 2 minutes, as opposed to walking, which takes 20 minutes plus. And it gets really hot in the summer and gets kind of cold in the winter. So this gives them a climate-controlled, very convenient access, very convenient ride.
Okay, so if I'm a normal visitor, I'm coming here for the CES convention, what do I do if I want to ride?
So it's very easy. A customer just needs to come to one of our stations. An attendant will designate where they need to go. They jump in a car and go to wherever they need to go on our campus. Again, we have a 200-acre campus, so it is free on our campus at our 4 stations. If they want to go to any one of the stations at Resorts World, at Westgate, and the soon-to-open Encore station, there is a fare. They would just need to scan the QR code, pay the fare, and they can go wherever they want to go.
So what's the experience like for somebody coming in? Obviously, they're going around in Teslas. You've got a driver in there. What's this all about, this experience?
Well, when the Boring Company presented this to the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, we were looking for a way to get people throughout our campus. And we thought if there's anywhere that this can work, it's going to be in Las Vegas. It's exciting, it's different, it's new. When you get into a Tesla, you will go through about 12-foot diameter tunnel. While some people have been afraid that they think it's going to be claustrophobic, it's not at all. You experienced it. We have lights along the tunnel. Sometimes they change color. Again, fast, convenient. It's fun. A lot of people want to come and experience it just for the experience.
Yeah, great. Well, this is very exciting. Tell us about what your plans are for the future.
So the Boring Company has a master plan that they have approved through the City of Las Vegas and through Clark County. It involves about 104 stations right now, about 68 miles of tunnel that will take riders anywhere from the airport to Allegiant Stadium to downtown and all throughout the resort corridor, all doing that without contributing to our greenhouse gas emissions or contributing to a reduced mobility or added congestion on our streets. Okay, so now we are at the Las Vegas Monorail. We're at the Boingo station at the Las Vegas Convention Center. It's a partnership with Boingo Wireless, and there's a beautiful space upstairs that they activate. We have our traditional ticket vending machines with magstripe ticket, and we are going to go away from this very shortly. It's, that old traditional style of closed system, and it doesn't work for customers who want to ride today. They want their tickets that's right in their pocket on their phone. And so we worked with a team to reverse engineer that system, and since then have expanded this digital platform. So now customers just need to scan this QR code or go on to lvmonorail.com, purchase the ticket, and they can download their ticket directly to their either to their Google or to their iOS wallet.
Wow.
So it's very convenient. Their ticket is also their phone. The other thing that we have done is, I think we're the only system in the world that we work with conventions, with shows, and we integrate our tickets directly into their registration. So customers can go on, register for CES, for example, since we were just talking about it, and they can choose, yes, I also want to buy a 7-day monorail pass. Add that on, pay it all at once, and then when they receive their badge, they use their badge is their ticket.
Wow.
So, very unique, makes it a lot more convenient for the customer. When they're juggling so many things, they're in Las Vegas and there's so much going on, it's one less thing they need to deal with.
One of the great ways people can move around here in Vegas is here on the monorail.
Yeah.
I mean, tell us how it works and where it goes.
Sure. So the Las Vegas Monorail just celebrated 20 years, which we're very proud of, very excited about. It is about 4 miles long. It goes from MGM Grand on the south side north up to Sahara, Las Vegas. There are 7 stations, connects to 8 properties, about 25,000 hotel rooms, and over 6 million square feet of convention space.
And you were involved in getting this whole thing started, right?
Well, close, yeah. I was at the RTC when it originally was being built, and I participated in and helped do a lot of the publicity for it. And then I was the chief marketing officer for 15 years of the monorail. So it has been quite a ride.
So like last night, there was this big rock and roll marathon, blocked up all the streets. Is the monorail still running during those times?
Absolutely. So there's a lot of the things that the monorail does really well. We don't go everywhere. We always say we connect to Las Vegas. We're not the reason you come to Las Vegas. But during those big events when Las Vegas Boulevard shut down, so during F1, during New Year's Eve, and during the marathon, we still operate, and we can carry people up and down the strip and get them where they need to go. During F1, we operate 24 hours a day, 5 straight days. It is a major opportunity for our resort workers who can't get to their job sites. They park here, get on the monorail, and still can get in and out.
That's great. And who owns this? Who's operating this?
So now the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority owns it. We purchased it from the Las Vegas Monorail Company in 2021. It was a private not-for-profit system. It has never taken any kind of public funds to operate.
Wow.
When COVID shut the system down, eventually that private not-for-profit ran out of money, and the LVCVA saw the need to continue to provide the mobility that the system provides. It's between 5 and 6 million passengers per year, and almost all of them are visitors to our community.
And there's a few more very unique features about this I think you should share.
First, we are the first autonomous system in Southern Nevada. Our 9 trains operate completely autonomously. They are operated and controlled at our control center. We have a very robust communication system that ensures that the trains never come within even 1 block of each other. But first autonomous system, which is one of our claims to fame. Also, our ridership is very unique. We don't have a traditional customer base that rides every day. We carry mostly visitors. So our whole visitor customer base turns over about every 3 days, which requires us to market ourselves the same way that a hotel markets or an attraction markets. So that's also very, very unique.